Welcome and thanks so much for joining me this morning here on Good Morning Central Oregon. I'm Christy Miller. On the program today, did you know you can book a librarian at your local library? We'll tell you more with Glenna Rhodes of the Deschutes Public Library. We'll also talk about a community baby shower that is benefiting some of the most in-need families in Central Oregon through Super Optimist of Bend. Chris Brubaker is in along with Lynn Gardner of the Department of Health and Human Services. And it is time to shiver and shake. And I'm not going to tell you more about that until we get to that segment, but you are going to want to stay tuned. First, though, how can you have positive communication for parents and teens? Joining me this morning is Anna Thedford. She is with Juniper Mountain Counseling and Wellness. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I have two teens in my family, and sometimes I look at my oldest son and I think, who are you and where did you come from? And that's probably pretty common.
It is. It is. I think it's a rough time for everyone, including the teen. But you know, they're going through a very interesting developmental stage where they're starting to want independence, but they're still very much a child. So somewhere in the middle, they're grappling with that. And then out comes the aftermath with everyone involved.
Right, because it does affect your entire family.
It does. It does. You've been operating one way for a while, and everyone's comfortable with that, know what to expect, and then the teen years hit and all bets are off. Well,
you've got some terrific tips here for positive communication between parents and youth, and I want to make sure we hit them all, so we're just going to get right into them. But you say when arguing with anyone, but especially family, it's okay to be mad, but it's not okay to be mean.
Yes, it's a really important rule that I tell all the families that I'm working with. It's just when fighting becomes disrespectful and kind of dirty in a way, nothing constructive occurs. But it's really, it's important to understand that the feeling of anger is natural and okay. So how do we do that but being respectful to one another? So that's really important for families to know.
You say also use I statements and then model healthy communication.
Right. So instead of saying you are making me feel this way or you are doing this, that becomes a confrontation and it becomes kind of this blame. And I think most of us get defensive immediately. So turning that around, the you to an I'm feeling this way because of whatever, and I would like this to happen. So you're owning your feeling, but you're also maybe giving some input of how it could be better for you.
And there's no defensive-ness on the other end because it's not an attack.
Right.
Also, you say don't take it too personal.
Yeah, and that's so easier said than done, and I understand that, but it's a really important thing for us to sit back and keep telling ourselves when we start to get wrapped up into maybe a heated argument with the teenager, and it just feels like it's getting so out of control, and again, who are you?
Yeah.
Again, just remember, okay, I'm the parent, I don't need to take this personally. I am the training zone for the real world for my teenager and my child. And so stepping back and maybe taking on the teacher role. Because if teachers took everything personally that they see in their classroom, they'd be in trouble. So maybe shifting our thought a little bit to not take it so personally.
Well, yet they will get upset when you say no, but still having the strength to set those limits because they need those limits.
They do need limits. It's healthy, and they will push and push and push until you create those limits. And if you don't create those limits, bad things can happen. You know, a little bit of chaos, and they feel safe. It's having some sort of structure or a limit that they can expect and know where you stand. That creates safety for them.
Right. Also notice when you are feeling overwhelmed and burnt out.
Yes, so important. Not just in our careers, but in life in general. And I say to that, when you are feeling that way, find your community, find your support system, and rely on them. Go have coffee with a girlfriend or whatever and talk to them. And they very well could be sharing the same example that you are. And like, I'm dealing with that too. And that just feels good to have validation.
Remember to have fun.
Yes, yes. Because you're a family, and you should be having fun in your family, even when things get crazy. Just because teenage years are on doesn't mean you can't have fun with your kids and your family anymore. So
I see that too. I mean, the tendency is when all this heavy stuff is going down to just stay bogged down.
Yes.
And it is hard. You have to make that effort to get out there and have fun, because the other thing is you have other kids.
Yes.
Who need to have a good time too.
Absolutely. And the teens like to retreat, right? And that's normal, but us pulling them out and having healthy communication with the family and fun times is also really important for us to do.
And you suggest letting the kids brainstorm the activities.
Yeah, because I think they'll buy into it better if they have a role and if they have a little bit of control of what's happening, so they don't feel like, oh, we're going on some silly vacation or silly whatever for the day that mom and dad want to do. This is lame, which is generally how a teenager thinks.
Oh yeah.
So saying, you know, setting the limits of what would be reasonable for them to come up with, and then let them get creative.
They'll come up with great stuff. I think you'll be surprised. The final one is, don't be too proud to apologize when you need to. I have to tell you, my mom never ever once uttered an apology to us. And I promised myself, this was one of those things, you know, where you learn not to parent, or how not to parent. I promised myself I would never do that. And this is so important.
So important with all ages, because I shared with you that I needed that with my own little toddler the other day. And so, you know, it's just, our buttons get pushed. That's what our lovely children do, and they make us stronger people. But sometimes, you know, when we slip up a bit, maybe have an attitude of, or say something in a tone that we don't feel proud about, or say something we don't feel proud about, when we step away from it, we realize that and we're feeling that, listen to it, and then apologize. It's okay. It's good. It's a great model for kids.
Right. And you're not losing any of your power or any of your authority as a parent.
You're gaining power. You're gaining respect. Then they'll respect you and see that you care.
We are modeling behavior for our children. They will model everything we do. We're training them, like you said, for the real world. So these are very real interactions that they need to be comfortable with to get out there. And I bet you talk to parents and teens all the time about this kind of thing.
It's not a, you know, do what I say, not what I do. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. And so just being really aware of what you're doing, how you're saying it, how you're acting, and then what you're expecting of your children in return. And hopefully you're modeling what you're wanting from them.
Yeah. It is, it's an emotional roller coaster, though.
It is.
And I think parents, maybe it's so much easier just to give up and say, fine, do what you want. You know, but you have to be strong.
You do, you do. And I say, if you're really feeling like things are totally out of control and all those things that we talked about today are not working for you, then, you know, you probably need a little bit more help. And, you know, that's where someone like myself would come into play, or like a counselor, and to help facilitate and get you back on track, everybody. So, because that can be hard.
And that can be a really healthy way to do that, too. Because then you have no investment in this child. You're an outsider with an outsider's perspective, and sometimes they will listen to that more than they'll listen to a family member.
Yeah, and it's on neutral playing ground, too. We want you to know, if you'd like more information about Anna or Juniper Mountain Counseling and Wellness, it's junipermtn.com. That's a new website, and then 541-390-8655. So great stuff today. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. We'll be right back.